Serge. He just bought a painting. It's a canvas about 5 feet by 4. It's white. Background is white. And if you screw up your eyes, you can make up these fine white diagonal lines. Serge is one of my oldest friends. He's done very well for himself. He's a dermatologist, and he is really into art. Now, on Monday, I went over to see the painting, but he'd actually gotten hold of it on Saturday. Well, he'd actually been lusting after it for months, this white painting with white lines. Expensive?
200,000.
200,000.
Jean Delaunay would take it off my hands for 220.
Who's that?
Delaunay?
Never heard of him.
Jean Delaunay, the Delaunay Gallery.
The Delaunay Gallery would take this off your hands for 220?
No, not the gallery, him. Delaunay himself for his own collection.
Why doesn't Delaunay buy it?
Well, it's important for them to sell to private clients. That's how the market circulates. Well, you're not in the right place. You have to look at it from this angle. Can you see the lines?
What's the name of the
Painter? Antrios.
Yeah, well known.
Oh, very, very.
Serge, you haven't paid 200,000 francs for this painting.
You don't understand, that's what it cost. It's an Antrios.
Serge, you haven't paid 200,000 francs for this painting.
No, I might have known you'd miss the point.
You paid 200,000 francs for this shit?
My friend Mark is an intelligent enough guy. I've always valued our relationship. He has a good job. He's an aeronautical engineer. But he's one of these new style intellectuals who are not only enemies to modernism, but seem to take some kind of incomprehensible pride in running it all down. In recent years, these nostalgia merchants have become quite breathtakingly arrogant. What do you mean, this shit?
Where's your sense of humor? How come you're not laughing? It's fantastic you're buying this painting.
Well, I don't care how fantastic you think it is. I don't mind if you'd laugh, but I'd like to know what you mean by this shit.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not kidding. I mean, by whose standards is it shit? I mean, if you call something shit, you have to have some criterion to judge it
Who
by.
are you talking to? Who do you think you're talking to, huh? Hello?
Well, you have no interest whatsoever in contemporary painting. You never have. This is a field about which you know absolutely nothing. So, how can you assert that any given object which conforms to laws that you don't understand is shit?
Because it is.
It's shit. He doesn't like the painting. Fine. But there was no warmth in the way he responded, no attempt, no warmth in the way he dismissed it without a thought, just that vile, pretentious laugh. A real know-it-all laugh. I hated that laugh.
It's a complete mystery to me, Serge, buying this painting. It's unsettled me. It's filled me with some indefinable unease. When I left his place, I had to take 3 pellets of Gelsemium 9C, which Paula recommended, Gelsemium orignaceae. Gelsemium orignaceae, she says. Which do you prefer? How the hell should I know? I couldn't believe that my friend Serge would have bought that painting at 200,000 francs. I mean, he's comfortable, but he's not rolling in money. He's comfortable, that's all, just comfortable, and he spends 200 grand on some white picture. I have to go see Ivan. I have to discuss this with Ivan. Ivan is a friend of ours, although Ivan's a very tolerant guy, which, of course, when it comes to relationships, is the worst thing you can possibly be. Tolerant. Ivan is tolerant because he couldn't care less. Now, if Ivan tolerates the fact that Serge has spent 200 grand on some white piece of shit, It means that he couldn't care less about Serge, obviously.
I'm Ivan. I'm a little tense at the moment. Having spent my entire life in textiles, I just found a new job as a sales agent for a wholesale stationery business. People like me. My professional career has always been a failure. Oh, and I'm getting married in 2 weeks. She's a lovely, intelligent girl from a good family. What are you doing? I'm looking for the top to my pen.
Yeah, that's enough.
I had it in my hand 5 minutes
Oh,
ago.
it doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
Forget about it. Buy another one.
Oh, it's a very special felt tip. It writes on any surface. Objects. I can't tell you how much they infuriate me. I just had it in my hand 5 minutes ago.
You're gonna live here?
Do you think it's suitable for a young couple?
A young couple?
Try not to laugh like that in front of Catherine.
Okay. How's the stationery business?
It's all right. I'm learning.
Hey, you've lost weight, huh?
Yeah, a little. You know, I'm really pissed off about that top. It'll all dry up. Oh, sit down.
If you don't stop looking for that top, I'm leaving.
Okay, I'll stop. You want something to drink?
Yeah, a bottle of water if you got one. Have you seen Serge lately?
No. Have you?
Yesterday.
Is he okay?
Yes. He just bought a painting.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
White.
White.
White. Imagine a canvas about 5 feet by 4. It's white. Background is white. Completely white, in fact, with a few white diagonal lines. Maybe one more horizontal one down near the bottom.
How can you see him?
What?
The white lines. I mean, the entire background is white. How can you see the
You
lines?
just can't. And suppose maybe because it's slightly gray or vice versa. Anyway, there are degrees of white. There are different kinds of white, you know.
Well, don't get upset. Why are you getting so upset?
Because you just start quibbling, you never let me finish.
All right, go on.
Right. So now you have an idea of what the picture looks like.
I think so, yes.
Good. Now you have to guess how much Serge paid for it.
Who's the painter?
Antrios. Ever hear of him?
No, is he fashionable?
I knew you were going to ask me that.
Well, it's logical.
No, it's not logical.
Of course it's logical. You asked me to guess the price. You know perfectly well the price depends on how fashionable the painter is.
I'm not asking you to apply an entire set of critical standards. I'm not asking you for your professional estimate. I'm asking you, Ivan, what you would pay for a white painting gussied up with a few off-white stripes.
Jack shit.
Now, what about Serge? And, just pick a figure at random.
10,000 francs. 50,000. 100,000.
Keep going.
150. 200.
200.
No.
Yes.
200 grand.
200 grand.
All the same.
What do you mean all the same?
Well, if it makes him happy, he can afford
So
it.
that's what you think?
Why? What do you think?
You obviously do not understand the seriousness of this.
Nope.
It's amazing to me how you're missing the entire central point of the story. All you can see is the externals. You don't understand the seriousness of this.
What is the seriousness of this?
You don't understand what this means.
You want a cashew?
You don't understand that in some grotesque way, Serge fancies himself as a collector.
Well, no.
From now on, our friend Serge is one of the great connoisseurs.
Bullshit.
Of course it's bullshit. You can't buy your way in that cheap. That's what he thinks.
Oh, I see.
Doesn't that bother you?
Not if it makes him happy.
Not if it makes him happy. What is that supposed to mean? What kind of new philosophy is that? Not if it makes him happy.
Well, as long as it's not doing any harm to anyone else.
But it is doing harm to me. I'm disturbed. But more than that, I'm hurt. You know, I'm fond of Serge, but to see him let himself be ripped off and lose every ounce of discernment through sheer snobbery.
I don't know why you're so surprised. I mean, he's always haunted art galleries like crazy. Always been an exhibition freak.
Well, he's always been a freak, but he's always been a freak with a sense of humor. You see, that's what I can't stand about him now anymore. You can't laugh with him anymore.
Oh, I'm sure you can.
Oh, you can't.
Have you tried?
Of course I've tried. What do you think? I've laughed heartily. Made him crack a smile. Of course, 200 grand is kind of an expensive laugh.
Yes. Well, yeah. Look, I'll make him laugh.
I'd be surprised. You got any more nuts?
He'll laugh, you'll see.
You get along with the in-laws?
Wonderfully. As far as they're concerned, I'm just some jerk stumbling from one iffy job to another. And now I'm groping my way into the world of Bellum. Hey, this thing on my finger, what is it? Is it serious?
No.
Oh, good. So what's new?
Nothing. Lots of work. Exhausted. Hey, it's nice to see you. You never call.
Well, I don't like to disturb you.
No, you're kidding. You just speak to my secretary. I'll call you right back.
Yeah, I guess so. You know something? Your place gets more and more, monastic.
Yes. So, have you seen Mark lately?
No, not lately. Have you?
Yeah, 2 or 3 days ago.
Is he all right?
Yes, more or less.
Oh.
No, he's all right.
Well, I spoke to him on the phone last week. He seemed all right.
Well, he is. He's all right.
Yeah, but you seem to be implying that he wasn't all
On
right.
the contrary, I said that he was all right.
More or less, you
Yes,
said.
more or less. He's more or less all right.
So you've been out? Seen anything?
I can't afford to go out.
Oh.
I'm ruined.
Oh.
You want to see something special? Would you like to?
Sure I would. Show me. Ah, yes. Yes. Yes.
Antrios.
Yes. Yes.
It's the 70s Antrios. Worth mentioning. I mean, he's going through a similar phase now, but this one, it's from the 70s.
Yeah. Yeah. Expensive?
In absolute terms, yes. In fact, no. Do you like it?
Yes. Yes.
Plain.
Plain? Yes. Yes. Yeah, and at the same time, it's...
Magnetic.
Yes.
You don't really get that resonance just now.
Well, then...
No, you don't. You have to come back in the middle of the day. That resonance you get from something monochromatic, it doesn't really happen under artificial light.
Uh-huh.
Now that it's actually monochromatic.
Oh, no. How much?
200,000.
Very reasonable.
Crazy or what? Crazy! $200,000! Mark's seen the painting.
Oh?
Yeah, he's devastated.
Yeah.
And he said it was shit. A completely inappropriate description.
Well, absolutely.
I mean, you can't say this is shit.
No.
No, you can say I don't get it, I can't grasp it, but you can't say this is shit.
Well, you've seen his place.
Well, there's nothing to look at. It's like yours. It's all. What I mean is, you couldn't care less.
Well, his taste is classical. He likes things classical. What do you expect?
Well, he started in with this sardonic laugh. I mean, not a trace of charm, not a trace of humor.
You know Mark is moody. There's nothing new about
He
that.
has no sense of humor. With you, I can laugh. With him, I'm like a block of ice.
That's true. He's a little gloomy right now.
Yeah, well, I don't blame him for not responding to this painting. I mean, he doesn't have the training. There's a whole apprenticeship that you have to go through, which he hasn't had because he doesn't want to, or he has no particular instinct for it. No, none of that matters. I blame him for his tone of voice, his smugness, his insensitivity. You know, I don't blame him for not responding to modern painting. I could give a shit about that. I like him for other reasons.
Why, he likes you.
No. I felt it the other day, a kind of condescension. I mean, contempt with a really bitter edge.
Oh, no.
Yes! Hey, don't keep trying to smooth things over. I mean, where do you get this urge to be the great reconciler of the human race? Hmm? Why don't you admit that Mark is atrophying? If he isn't already atrophied.
We laughed.
You laugh.
We laughed. Both of us, we laughed. I swear to you, on Catherine's life, we had a good laugh. Both of us, together.
You told him it was shit and then you had a good laugh.
No, I didn't tell him it was shit. We laughed spontaneously.
You arrived, you looked at the painting, and then you laughed, and then he laughed.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, we talked a little bit first, and then, well, then it was pretty much the way he described it.
And it was a genuine laugh.
Perfectly genuine.
Oh, good. I've made a mistake then, huh? That's good. I'm actually very happy to hear it.
It was even better than you think. It was Serge who laughed first.
Serge who laughed first.
Yeah.
First, he laughed, and then you joined in.
Yeah.
But what made him laugh? Tell me.
Well, he laughed because he sensed I was about to laugh. Well, I guess he laughed to put me in my ease.
It doesn't count if he laughed first. If he laughed first, it was to diffuse your laughter. It means it wasn't a genuine laugh.
It was a genuine laugh.
Well, it may have been a genuine laugh, but it wasn't for the right reasons.
What are the right reasons? I'm confused.
Serge was not laughing because his painting is ridiculous. You and he weren't laughing for the same reason. See, you were laughing at the painting. He was laughing to ingratiate himself, to put himself on your wavelength. Yet to say that on top of being an aesthete who can spend more on a painting than you earn in a year, well, he's still that same old rebellious pal you used to kid around with.
Huh. You know, this is gonna amaze you, but I didn't like the painting. I didn't actually hate it.
Well, of course not. You can't hate what's invisible. You can't hate nothing.
No, it has something.
What do you mean?
Well, it has something. It's not nothing.
You're kidding.
Well, I'm not as harsh as you. It's a work of art. There's a system behind it.
A system?
Yeah, a system.
What system?
Well, it's the completion of a journey. It wasn't painted by accident. It's a work of art that stakes its claim as part of a trajectory. Oh, go ahead, laugh.
You're parroting all of Serge's nonsense. From him, it's heartbreaking. From you, it's just comical.
You know, Mark, this smugness, you want to watch that. You're getting bitter. It's not very attractive.
Well, good. The older I get, the more offensive I hope to become.
Oh, great.
A system.
You are impossible to talk to.
You look at this piece of shit, but never mind, there's a system behind it. What about this landscape up here? How you think there's a system behind this, huh? No. It's too evocative, too expressive. Everything is on the canvas. There's no scope for a system.
I'm glad you're enjoying yourself.
Oh, come on, Ivan. Speak your mind. Will you express your feelings to me?
I felt a resonance.
You felt a resonance.
Are you denying that I'm capable of appreciating this painting for myself?
Of course I am.
Why?
Because I know you. And apart from being disastrously open-minded, you're actually quite sane.
I wish I could say the same for you.
Ivan, look me in the eye.
I'm looking at you.
Were you moved by Serge's painting?
No.
All right, now answer me this. You and Catherine get this picture for a wedding present. Does that make you happy? Does it? Does it make you happy?
Of course it doesn't make me happy. It doesn't make me happy, but then, generally speaking, I'm not the kind of person who can say I'm happy just like that. I'm trying to think of an occasion when I could have said I was happy. Are you happy to be getting married? My mother stupidly asked me the other day. Are you at least happy to be getting married? Well, why wouldn't I be? What do you mean, why wouldn't I be? You're either happy or you're not happy. What's why wouldn't I be got to do with it?
As far as I'm concerned, it's not white. Oh, when I say as far as I'm concerned, I mean objectively. Objectively speaking, it's not white. Well, it has a white background, with a whole range of grays. There's even some red in it. So you could say it's very pale. I wouldn't like it if it was white. Mark thinks it's white. Mark thinks it's white because that's his limit. Mark thinks it's white because he's gotten hung up on the idea that it's white. Unlike Ivan. Ivan can see that it isn't white. Mark can think whatever he likes.
Obviously, I should have taken the Ignatia. Why do I have to be so categorical? I mean, what possible difference could it make to me if Serge finds himself taken in by modern art? I mean, it's a serious matter, but I could have found some other way to put it to him. I could have used a less aggressive tone. I mean, even if it makes me physically ill that my best friend has bought a white painting, I ought to be able to avoid attacking him about it. I have to be nicer to him, and from now on, I'm going to be on my best behavior.
Feel like a laugh?
Yeah, go on.
Ivan liked the Antrios.
Where is it?
Do you want another look?
Sure, let me see.
I knew you'd come around to it. Ivan got it right away. All right. It's just a picture. No sense in getting bogged down with it, huh? Life is too short. Oh, by the way, have you read this?
No.
Should read it. It's a masterpiece. Incredibly modern. I mean, read this, and you don't need anything else. What, but the office, and the hospital, Francoise, who's now decreed that I'm to see the children every weekend, which is something new for Francoise, the notion that the children actually need a father. I don't have time to read anymore. I'm obliged to go straight for the essentials.
As in painting, where you've ingeniously eliminated form and color, those old chestnuts.
Yes. But I'm still capable of appreciating more figurative work, like your Flemish number. It's very restful.
What's Flemish about it? It's a view of Carcassonne.
Yes, but I mean, it's slightly Flemish in style. I mean, the window and the view. Anyway, it's very pretty.
Well, it's not worth anything, you know that.
Well, what difference does it make? I mean, in a few years, God knows if the Antrios would be worth anything.
You know, I've been thinking. Yes, I have. I've been thinking, and I've changed my mind. Yes, the other day, I was driving around town thinking about you, and I said to myself, isn't there something really poetic about what Serge has done? Isn't his surrendering to this insatiable urge to buy really an authentically poetic impulse?
You're very, conciliatory today. I mean, it's unrecognizable. What is this bland submissive tone of voice? It doesn't suit you at all, by the way.
I'm explaining. I'm apologizing.
Apologizing? For what?
Well, I'm too thin-skinned. You see, I'm too high-strung. I overreact. You might say I lack judgment.
Well, read Seneca.
You see, that's it exactly. You say to me, read Seneca, and I could very easily get annoyed. I'm very capable of becoming annoyed over the fact that in the course of our conversation, you say to me, read Seneca. It's absurd of me.
No, it's not absurd.
Really?
No, because you thought you could identify a kind of...
I didn't say that I wasn't.
Oh, you said
I
you
said I
could
could
very
very
easily
easily
get annoyed, and I understand that. Because when you said you lack judgment, I said read Seneca. You thought you could sense a certain kind of superiority. You say you lack judgment, and I say read Seneca. Well, that's obnoxious.
Well, yes, it is a little.
Having said that, it's true. You lack judgment, because I didn't say read Seneca. I said read Seneca.
You're right. You're right.
Fact of the matter is, Mark, you've lost your sense of humor.
Probably.
You really have lost your sense of humor, Mark. You know, the other day when Ivan was over, he agreed with me that recently you've lost your sense of humor. Where the hell is he, by the way? He's incapable of being on time. It's infuriating. We'll miss the beginning.
Ivan thinks I've lost my sense of humor.
Ivan agrees with me that recently you've somewhat lost your sense of humor. Yes.
The last time you saw each other, he said he liked your painting very much and that I had lost my sense of humor.
Oh, yes, that, the painting, really, very much, and he meant it. What's that you're reading?
Ignatia.
You believe in homeopathy now?
I don't believe in anything.
Don't you think that, Ivan's lost a lot of weight?
So is she.
It's the wedding, eating away at both of them.
Yes.
How's Paul?
Fine, all right. Where are you going to put it?
No, I don't know yet. There? Or there. Too ostentatious.
You gonna have it framed?
Oh, no.
Why not?
Well, it isn't supposed to be framed.
Oh, is that right?
No, the artist doesn't want it to be. It mustn't be interrupted. It's already in setting. Look, see.
What is that, adhesive tape?
No, it's a kind of a craft paper made up by the artist.
It's funny how you say the artist.
Well, what else am I supposed to say?
I don't know, you could say the painter or whatever his name is, Antrios.
All right. So?
But you say the artist as if he's some kind of... Never mind, it doesn't matter anyway. What are we going to see tonight? I hope we can see a movie with some substance.
It's 8 o'clock, you know, everything will have started. You know, I can't imagine how this man who has nothing whatsoever to do manages to be late every single time. I mean, where the fuck is he?
Why don't we just eat dinner?
All right. It's 8:05. We were supposed to meet between 7 and 7:30. And what do you mean, by the way, I said artist?
Nothing. I was going to say something stupid.
Go on.
Would you say the artist, as if he's some kind of unattainable being? The artist, some kind of god.
Well, to me, he is a god. I mean, you don't think I would have forked out a fortune for a mere mortal, do you?
Oh,
You know, I went to the Pompidou on Monday. Do you know how many Antrioses they have at the Pompidou?
no.
3. 3 Antrioses at the Pompidou!
It's amazing.
And mine's as good as anyone! If not better. All right, I have an idea. Let's give Ivan exactly 3 more minutes and then get the hell out of here. I found a great new place. Lyonnaise food.
Why are you so jumpy?
I'm not jumpy.
You sure are you jumpy?
I'm not jumpy. All right. I'm jumpy. I'm jumpy because I find this slackness intolerable. This inability to practice any kind of self-discipline.
Now, the truth of the matter is I'm getting on your nerves and you're taking it out on poor Ivan.
What do you mean, poor Ivan? Are you shitting me? And you're not getting on my nerves, Mark. Why should you be getting on my nerves? He's getting on my nerves. No, I mean, it's true. He's getting on my nerves. It's that ingratiating tone of voice, a little smile behind every word. As if he's making some sort of effort to be pleasant. Well, don't be pleasant. Whatever you do, don't be pleasant. Could it be the Antrios? Could buying the Antrios have triggered this feeling of constraint between us, buying something without his approval? Well, screw his approval. Screw your approval, Mark!
Could it be the Antrios? Buying the Antrios? No. It started long before. To be precise, it started one day when you and I were discussing some work of art, and you uttered quite seriously the word deconstruction. Now, it wasn't so much the word deconstruction that bothered me as it was the air of solemnity that you imbued it with. You said quite humorlessly, quite unapologetically, without the slightest trace of irony, deconstruction. I didn't quite know how to handle the situation, so I made this throwaway remark. I said, well, perhaps I'm getting less tolerant in my old age. To which you responded, who do you think you are? What gives you the right to be so high and mighty? What gives you the right to think you can set yourself apart? Serge responded in the shittiest way possible and completely unexpectedly. He said, you're just Mark. What makes you think you're so special? Well, right there, that day I should have punched him right in the mouth. And while he was down on the ground, half dead, I should have said to him, you're supposed to be my friend. What kind of a friend are you if you don't think your friends are special? Lean eggs. A little heavy, isn't it? A little on the fatty side, all those sausages. What do you think?
Oh, 12 minutes past 8.
So a crisis, insoluble problem, major crisis. Both stepmothers want their name on the wedding invitation. Catherine adores her stepmother, who more or less brought her up. She wants her name on the invitation. She wants it, and her stepmother's not anticipating, which is understandable, since the mother is dead, not appearing next to Catherine's father. Whereas my stepmother, whom I detest, it's completely out of the question that her name should be on the invitation. But my father won't have his name on it, unless hers is, unless Catherine's stepmother is left off, which is totally unacceptable. I suggested that none of the parents' names be on it. After all, we're not adolescents. We can announce the wedding and invite people ourselves. So Catherine screamed her head off, arguing that would be a slap in the face to both her parents, who are paying through the nose for the reception, and particularly for her stepmother's gone to so much trouble when she isn't even a daughter. So I finally allowed myself to be persuaded, totally against my better judgment, because she wore me down, and I agreed that my stepmother, whom I detest, who's a complete bitch, will have her name on the wedding invitation. So I telephoned my mother to warn her. Mother, I said, I've done everything I can to avoid this, but we have absolutely no choice. Colette's name has to be on the invitation. And she said, if Colette's name is on the invitation, then take mine off it. Mother, I said, please, I beg you, don't make things even worse. And she said, how dare you suggest that my name be left to float around on the card all alone on its own, as if I were some abandoned woman below Colette, who'll be clamped onto your father's name like Olympus. I have friends who I'm better. We'll discuss all this tomorrow after a good night's sleep. She said, why is it I'm always an afterthought? What are you talking about, Mother? You're not always an afterthought. Of course I am. And when you say don't make things even more difficult, what you mean is everything's already been decided. Everything's already been organized without me. Everything's been cooked up behind my back. Good old Nadia, she'll agree to anything. And all this, she said, get this, in aid of an event the importance of which I'm having some trouble grasping. Mother, I said, I have friends waiting for me. That's right, there's always something better to do. Anything more important than I am. Goodbye, and she hung up. Catherine, who was next to me but hadn't heard her side of the conversation, said, what did she say? I said she doesn't want her name on the invitation with Colette, which is understandable. I'm not talking about that. What did she say about the wedding? Nothing. You're lying. I'm not. Kathy, I promise you. She just doesn't want her name on the invitation with Colette. Call her back and tell her that when your son is getting married, you rise above your vanity. You could say the same thing to your stepmother. That's got nothing to do with it! It's me. I'm the one who's insisting her name's on the invitation, not her. The poor thing, she's tact personified. Why, if she had any idea the problems it's causing, she'd be down on her knees, begging me to take her name off it. Now call your mother back. So I called her back. By now, I'm friends. Catherine's listening in on the extension. Ivan, my mother said, up to now, you've conducted your affairs in the most chaotic way imaginable. And just because out of the blue you decided to embark on matrimony, I find myself obliged to spend all afternoon and evening with your father, a man I haven't seen for 17 years, and to whom I was not expecting to have to reveal my hip size and my puffy cheeks. Not to mention Colette, who, incidentally, I'm going to tell you, according to Felix Perolari, has suddenly taken up bridge. My mother also plays bridge. I can see that all this can't be helped, but on the invitation, the one item that everyone is going to receive and examine, I insist on making a solo appearance. Catherine, listening in on the extension, shakes her head, screws up her face in disgust. Mother, I said, why are you being so selfish? I'm not selfish. I'm not selfish. Ivan, you're not going to start too. You're not going to be like Madame Romero this morning and tell me that I have a heart of stone, that everybody in our family has a heart of stone. That's what Madame Romero said this morning. She's gone completely insane, by the way. When I refused to raise her salary to 60 francs an hour cash, she had the gall to say that everybody in our family has a heart of stone, when she knows perfectly well about poor Andre's pacemaker. Oh, that's right, you haven't even bothered to drop him a line. Oh, yes, that's right, very funny. Everything's a joke to you. It's not me who's the selfish one, Ivan. You've still got a lot to learn about life. But you go on, dear. Go ahead, go and see your precious friends.
Then what?
Then nothing. Nothing's been resolved. I hung up. Mini drama with Catherine cut short because I was late.
Why do you let yourself be fucked over by all these women?
Why do I let myself be... I don't know. They're all insane.
You've lost weight.
Of course I have. 10 pounds purely through stress.
Read Seneca.
Happy life? That's what I need. What's he suggest?
Oh, it's a masterpiece.
Oh?
He hasn't read it.
No, but Serge told me it's a masterpiece.
I said it was a masterpiece because it is a masterpiece.
Right.
It is a masterpiece.
Why are you getting annoyed?
Well, you seem to be insinuating that I use the word masterpiece any chance I get.
Not at all.
Yes, you said the word in a kind of sarcastic.
Not at
Yes,
all.
the word masterpiece is a kind of...
See, not at all. But when you use the word, you qualified it by saying incredibly modern.
All right. So?
Well, you said incredibly modern, as if modern were the highest compliment you could give. As if when describing something you couldn't think of anything more admirable, more profoundly admirable than modern. So? So nothing. And please make sure, notice the fact that I said nothing about the word incredibly modern.
You're really needling me today, huh?
Why, no.
Oh, you're not gonna fight. That would just about finish me off.
You don't think that it's extraordinary that a man who wrote over 2,000 years ago can still be so completely up to date?
Of course not. That is the definition of a classic.
Oh, you're just playing with words.
So, what are we gonna do? I guess we can forget about going to the movies. I'm sorry. Do you want to go eat?
Serge tells me you're taken by his painting.
Yeah. I am kind of taken with it. Yeah. You're not, I gather? No.
So what do you say we go eat, huh? Serge has a very tempting recommendation, Lyonnaise.
Oh, no. No, you think the food's too fatty.
Well, I think the food's a little on the fatty side, but I'm willing to give it a shot.
No, if you think the food's too fatty, I mean, we'll find someplace else.
No, let's give it a shot.
Well, we'll try the restaurant if you think you'll like it. If not, we won't. Do you like Lyonnaise food?
I'll do whatever you like.
You'll do whatever you like. Whatever you like, he'll always do.
What's the matter with you? You're both acting very strange.
Now, you know, he's right. You could have an opinion of your own once in a while.
Oh, listen, if you think you're going to use me as your punching bag, I'm out of here. I put up with enough today.
Oh, Ivan, where's your sense of humor?
Huh?
Where's your sense of humor, kiddo?
Where's my sense of humor? I don't see anything funny to laugh at. Where's my sense of humor? What, are you trying to be funny?
You know, recently I think that you have somewhat lost your sense of humor. You better watch that, believe me.
What's the matter with you?
Don't you think that I, too, have recently somewhat lost my sense of humor?
Oh, I see.
All right, that's enough. Let's make a decision. Tell you the truth, I'm not even very hungry anymore.
You're both really sinister this evening.
Hey, do you want my opinion about your Your women problem?
Go on.
Yeah, in my view, the most hysterical of them all is Catherine, by far.
Oh, no question.
Yeah, and if you're already letting yourself get fucked over by her now, you're in for a hideous future.
What can I do?
Cancel it.
He's right.
Cancel the wedding? You're crazy. I can't.
Why not?
Well, I can't. That's all. It's all been arranged. I've only been in the stationery business for a month.
What's that got to do with it?
It's her uncle's stationery business. He had absolutely no reason to take on anyone, least of all someone who's been in textiles all his life.
Well, I told you what I think. You do whatever you like.
Look, I am sorry, Serge. I don't mean to be rude, but you're not necessarily the person I would come to for matrimonial advice. You can't claim to have been a great success in that field.
Precisely.
Yeah, well, anyway, I can't call off the wedding. Look, I know Catherine's hysterical, but she has a good point. Besides, there are crucial qualities you need when you're marrying someone like me. Where are you gonna put it?
Oh, I don't know yet.
Well, why didn't you put it there?
Because there it'd be wiped out by the sunlight.
Oh,
Hmm.
yeah. You know, I thought of you today at work. We ran out 500 posters by this guy that paints white flowers. Totally white on a white background.
The Antrios is not white.
No, of course not. I was just saying that this guy...
You think this painting is not white?
Not entirely, no.
What color is it?
It's various colors. Look, there's yellow and there's gray, and there's some slightly ochreish lines.
And you're moved by these colors?
Yes, I'm moved by these colors.
You are spineless, Ivan. You have no substance. You're an amoeba.
Why are you attacking Ivan like this?
Because he's a little ass kisser. He's obsequious. He's dazzled by money, dazzled by what he believes to be culture. And as you know, culture is something I absolutely piss on.
What's gotten into you?
Could you, Ivan? I'm in front of me. In front of me, Ivan.
What do you mean in front of you? What do you mean in front of you? I find these colors touching. Yes, if it's all the same to you, stop wanting to control everything.
How could you say in front of me that you find these colors touching?
Because it's the
The
truth.
truth? You find these colors touching?
Yes, I find these colors touching.
You find these colors touching, Ivan?
He finds these colors touching. I mean, he's perfectly entitled to.
No, he's not entitled.
What do you mean he's not entitled
He's not
to?
entitled to.
I'm not entitled to.
No.
Why is he not entitled to? You know, I don't think you're very well. You should go see
He's
somebody.
not
It's-
entitled to say he finds these colors touching because he doesn't.
I don't find these colors touching.
There are no colors! You can't see them! You don't find them touching!
Speak for yourself.
Really, Ivan, this is demeaning.
Who do you think you are, Mark? I mean, who are you to legislate? You don't like anything. You despise everyone. You take pride in not being a man of your time.
What is that supposed to mean? A man of my time?
Okay, I'm leaving.
Where are you going?
I'm leaving. I don't see why I have to stay here and put up with your tantrums.
Now, you're not going to start taking offense, are you? Besides, if you go, you're giving in to him. A man of his time is a man who lives in his own time.
It's bullshit. How can a man live in any other time but his own?
A man of his time is someone of whom it can be said in 20 or 100 years was representative of his era.
Oh, and to what end?
What do you mean to what end?
What possible difference could it make to me if someday somebody says I was representative of my era?
Listen, sweetheart, we're not talking about you if you can imagine such a thing. We don't give a fuck about you! A man of his time, I'm trying to explain to you, like most people you admire, is someone who makes some kind of contribution to the human race. A man of his time doesn't assume the history of art hangs with a pseudo-Flemish view of the Cavillon.
What? Carcassonne.
Same thing. A man of his time plays his role in the fundamental dynamic of evolution.
Well, that's a good thing in your view.
It's not good or bad. Stop trying to moralize. It's just the way things are.
And you, for example, you play your role in the fundamental dynamic of evolution?
I do.
What about Ivan?
Oh, surely not. What part can an amoeba play?
In his way, Ivan is a man of his time.
How can you tell? Not from that motel painting he has hanging on his wall.
That is not a motel painting.
It is a motel.
It is not.
Because it may. I mean, Ivan represents a certain way of life. A way of thinking that is completely modern. And so do you, Mark. I'm sorry, but you are a typical man of your time. In fact, the harder you try not to be, the more you are.
Okay, fine. So what's the problem?
There is no problem except for you, because you take pride in your desire to shut yourself off from humanity. And you'll never manage it. It's like you're in quicksand. The harder you struggle to get out of it, the deeper you sink. Now, you apologize to Ivan.
Ivan is a coward.
Bravo.
I suppose it wasn't such a good idea for us to get together tonight, was it? Maybe I ought to go too.
No, maybe.
Right.
You're the coward. Attacking someone who's incapable of defending himself, as you well know.
You're right. You're right, you're right. And then when you put it like that, it makes me feel all the worse. But you see, the thing is I can't understand. I have no idea what binds me to Ivan. I have no idea what my relationship with him consists of.
Ivan's always been exactly what he is.
No. He used to be eccentric, kind of absurd. He's always been unstable, but his eccentricity was disarming.
What about me?
What about you?
Well, do you have any idea what binds you to me?
Oh, there's a question that could take us down a very long road.
Lead on.
Sorry I upset Ida.
At last, you've said something approximately human. Now, what makes it all the worse is that, that motel painting he has hanging on his wall was, I'm afraid, painted by his father.
It was?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. But
Yeah.
you said it.
Yeah, well, I remembered it as soon as I said it.
Oh, shit.
Ivan returns. The elevator was full, so I plunged downstairs, clattering all the way down, thinking to myself, a coward, an amoeba, no substance. I thought to myself, I'll get a gun, I'll come back, I'll blow his brains out. Then he'll see how spineless and obsequious I am. And I got to the lobby and I said to myself, listen, pal, you haven't spent 6 years in therapy to wind up shooting your best friend. And you haven't spent 6 years in therapy without learning that some deep anxiety must lie beneath this insane aggression of his. So I relaunched myself, telling myself as I mount that penitential stare that this is a cry for help. And I must help, Mark, if it's the last thing that I do. In fact, the other day, I discussed you both with Finkelzone.
You discussed us with Finkelzone?
I discussed everything with Finkelzone.
Why exactly were you discussing us?
I forbid you to discuss me with that asshole.
You are in no position to forbid me anything.
Why were you discussing us?
Well, I knew that your relationship was under a strain, and well, I wanted Finkelzone to explain.
And what did the bastard say?
Well, he said something very amusing.
They're allowed to give their opinions.
No, they never give their opinions. But this time he did give his opinion. He even made a gesture, and he never makes a gesture. He's always so cold. I sometimes say to him, for God's sakes, move around a little.
What did he say?
Who gives a fuck what he said?
I want to know what he said.
What possible interest could we have in what he said?
I want to know what the bastard said, all right? Shit.
You want to know?
Yeah.
You took notes?
I wrote it down. It was complicated. Should I read it to you?
Go on.
If I'm who I am because I'm who I am, and you're who you are because you're who you are, then I'm who I am and you're who you are. If, on the other hand, I'm who I am because you're who you are, and you're who you are because I'm who I am, then I'm not who I am, and you're not who you are.
How much do you pay this man?
400 francs a session twice a week.
That's great. I'm so happy for you. You're gaining the benefit of his experience.
Absolutely. We'd really appreciate it if you made a copy for
You
us.
could come in handy.
You're wrong. It's very profound.
If it's because of him that you have turned the other tail and come running back here, you should be very grateful. He's cut off your balls, but you're happy. That's all that counts.
And all this because he doesn't want to believe I like your Andreos.
You know, I don't give a fuck what you think of it. Either of you.
You know, the more I see it, the more I like it. Honest.
Let's stop discussing the painting, okay? Once and for all, I have no interest in discussing it further.
Why are you so touchy?
I'm not touchy, Mark. I'm exhausted. I mean, you told us what you think. Fine. The subject is closed.
You're getting upset.
I'm not upset. I'm exhausted.
You see, if you're touchy about it, it means you care too much about other people's opinions.
I'm exhausted, Mark, you know? This whole thing is pointless. To tell you the truth, I'm really getting on the brink of getting bored with both of you.
Let's go eat.
You go. The two of you. Why don't you go off together?
No. It's so rare that the three of us are together.
Yeah, just as well by the look of it.
I don't understand what's going on. Why can't we all just calm down? I mean, well, there's no point in insulting each other, especially over a painting.
Don't you realize that all this calm down and waving the white flag is just adding fuel to the fire? Is this something new?
I will not be undermined.
Ooh, very impressive. You know, maybe I should go see this Finkelzoll.
You can't. There's no vacancy. What are you eating?
Gelsemium. What's up?
I've given in to the logic of events. Marriage, children, death, stationery. What else can happen?
We're not worthy to look at it.
Exactly.
Or are you afraid that if it remains in my presence, that you'll start seeing it through my eyes?
No. You know what Paul Valery says, and I go quite a bit further.
I don't give a damn what Paul Valery says.
Oh, you stopped liking Paul Valery?
Don't quote Paul Valery to me.
But you used to love Paul
I
Valery.
don't give a damn what Paul Valery
But
says.
you introduced me to him. You were the one who got me into Paul
Don't
Valery.
quote Paul Valery to me. I don't give a damn what Paul Valery says.
Well, what do you give a damn
I
about?
give a damn about you buying that painting. I give a damn about you spending 200,000 francs on some piece of white shit.
You're starting again, Mark.
Well, let me tell you what I give a damn about, since everyone's coming clean here. I give a damn about your snickering and your insinuations and your suggestion that I also think this painting is a grotesque joke. You know, you refuse to admit that I could feel a genuine attachment to it. You've tried to set up some kind of a loathsome complicity between us, Mark, and that's what's made me feel, to use your expression, how little binds us together these days. Your perpetual display of distrust.
It's true. I cannot believe that you genuinely love that painting.
Why?
Because I love Serge, and I can't love the Serge that's capable of buying that painting.
Why do you say buying? Why can't you say loving?
Because I can't say loving. I don't believe loving.
Then why would I buy it if I didn't love it?
That is the nub of the question.
Do you see how smug he is? I'm trying to be straightforward here, and he responds in this pompous, heavy-handed tone. And it never occurred to you, even for a second, however improbable it might seem, that I might actually love it. And that your vicious, inflexible opinions and your vile assumptions of complicity might actually be hurtful to me.
Now,
when you asked me what I thought of Paula, a girl who once spent an entire dinner party maintaining that Ehlers-Danlos syndrome could be cured homeopathically, did I say that I found her ugly, or repellent, or totally charmless? Well, I could have.
is that what you think about
What's
Paula?
your theory?
Of course, he couldn't possibly think
Your
of
answer me.
You see the effect you can have?
Do you think what you just said about Paula?
Worse, actually.
Worse, Serge, worse than repellent? Please explain to me how someone can be worse than repellent.
It's interesting how when something affects you personally, words can dig a little deeper.
Please explain how someone can be worse than repellent.
No, there's no need to take that frosty tone. Let me try and explain it to you. Perhaps it's the way she waves away cigarette smoke.
The way she waves away cigarette smoke?
Yes, the way she waves away cigarette smoke. I mean, what you think is a harmless gesture, what you think is a gesture of no significance is in fact just the opposite, yes. And the way she waves away cigarette smoke condemns her out of hand.
You're talking to me about Paula, about the woman who shares my life in these intolerable terms because you disapprove of her method of waving away cigarette smoke?
Yes, the way she waves away cigarette smoke is right at the heart of her repellentness.
Serge, this is very serious what you're doing. You had better explain yourself before I completely lose control.
All right, well, let me see. A normal woman would say, excuse me, I find the smoke a bit uncomfortable. Would you mind moving your ashtray? But not her, no. She doesn't deign to speak. She shows her contempt in the air with this calculated gesture. Warily malicious, this hand movement that she imagines is imperceptible, the implication of which is to say, go ahead, smoke, it's pathetic, but what's the use of drawing attention to it? So you never quite know if it's you or your cigarette that's getting up her nose.
You're exaggerating.
No! You notice he doesn't say I'm wrong. He says I'm exaggerating, but he doesn't say I'm wrong. Yes! And the way she waves away cigarette smoke reveals a cold, condescending, and narrow-minded nature. Just what you're in the process of acquiring, Mark. It's a shame. It's a real shame you've taken up with such a life-denying woman.
Paula is not life-denying.
You take back everything you just said.
No.
Yes, you have to.
You take back everything you just said, Serge.
Take it back. This is ridiculous.
Serge, for the last time, I demand that you take back what you just said.
In my view, the two of you are an aberration. A pair of fossils.
Son of a...
Oh,
Ah, shit! Get in the way! Shit!
Show me.
Shit!
Show me.
Ah!
No, it's all right. Just wait a minute.
You're complete freaks, both of you!
Here, hold on to that for a minute.
Two grown men gone completely insane!
Don't get excited.
That really hurts! If I find out you burst my eardrum!
Of course not.
Oh, how do you know? You're not ear, nose, and throat. Two educated people, two old friends.
Just calm down.
You can't destroy someone just because you don't like her method of waving away cigarette smoke.
Yes, you can.
All right, you can, but it doesn't make any sense.
Oh, what do you know about sense?
Oh, that's right. Attack me. Keep attacking me. I could be hemorrhaging internally. I just saw a mouse running by.
It's a rat.
A rat?
He comes and goes.
You have a rat?
Keep the tongue pressed up to your ear.
What's the matter with you? What's happened between you two? Something must have happened for you to get this demented.
Yeah, I bought a work of art which makes Mark uncomfortable.
Oh, you're starting again. You're in a downward spiral, both of you. You can't stop yourself. Just like me and Colette. The most pathological relationship you can imagine.
Who's Colette?
My stepmother.
Oh, well, you haven't mentioned her in a while, and I got your...
Why didn't you tell me right away what you thought about Paula?
Well, I didn't want to upset you.
Oh, no.
What do you mean, no?
When I asked you what you thought about Paula, what you said was, she's a perfect match for you.
All right.
You sounded positive coming from you.
Sure.
Given the state you were in at the time.
All right, what are you trying to prove?
But today, your assessment of Paula, or rather me, is much harsher.
I don't understand.
Oh, yes, you understand.
I don't!
Since I can no longer support you in your frenzy, though recent craving for novelty, I've become condescending, narrow-minded, and fossilized.
Oh, I'm in agony. It's like someone's drilling through my brain.
Yeah, well, you want a sip of brandy?
Oh, what do you think? There's something shaking loose in my brain. Don't you think alcohol's a little risky?
Oh, you want some aspirin?
Aspirin?
Well, what the fuck do you want?
Don't mind me. Just continue on with your preposterous conversation. Don't pay any attention to me.
That's easier said than done.
Oh, you could squeeze out just a drop of compassion, but no.
No, I don't mind you spending time with Paula. I don't resent you for being with Paula.
You've got no reason to resent
But
us.
you resent me. Well, I was going to say for being with the Antrios.
Yes!
Am I missing something here?
I did not replace you with Paula.
Are you saying I replaced you with the Antrios?
Yes.
I replaced you with the Antrios?
Yes, with the Antrios and everything that it implies.
Do you understand what he's talking about?
I could care less. You're both insane.
In my time, you would never have bought that picture.
Oh, what is that supposed to mean in your time?
In the time when you made a distinction between me and other people, when you judged things by my standards.
Was there such a time?
That's just cruel and petty.
No. I assure you, I'm staggered.
If Ivan hadn't become such a sponge, he'd back me up.
Oh, that's right. Keep going. Just keep going. It's water off a duck's back.
There was a time when you were proud to be my friend. You congratulated yourself on my being a maverick, on my taste for standing apart. You enjoyed exhibiting me to your circle, untamed. You, whose life was so normal, I was your alibi. Time, I suppose, when that kind of admiration dries up and belatedly you claim your independence.
Oh, I like belated.
But I detest your independence. It's violence. You've abandoned me. I've been betrayed. As far as I'm concerned, you are a traitor.
If I understand him correctly, he was my mentor. And if I loved you as my mentor, what were the nature of your feelings?
That you can guess.
Yes, but I want to hear you say it.
I loved the way you saw me. I was flattered. I was grateful to you for thinking of me as a man apart. I even thought that being a man apart was somehow a superior condition until one day you pointed out to me that it wasn't.
This is very alarming.
It's the truth.
What a disaster.
What a disaster.
What a disaster.
And especially for me! Whereas you have found a new family, all your penchant for idolatry has unearthed new articles of worship, the artist, deconstruction.
What's deconstruction?
Well, you don't know about deconstruction? You should ask Serge. He's very much on top of the subject. You see, to convince me that some ridiculous artwork was comprehensible, you pick a word from Builder's Weekly. See, you're smiling, and when you smile like that, I think there's still some kind of hope, like an idiot.
Why don't you guys just make up? And let's have a pleasant evening. I mean, this is ludicrous.
No, it's all my fault. I've been away, we haven't seen much of each other lately, and you have started mixing with the high end. The Robesons, the Dupree Coudet, that dentist, Roger Hallier, he's the one that got you started.
No, he's from a different world altogether. He only likes conceptual art.
It's all the same thing.
No, it's not all the same
You
thing.
say it's another example of how I let you slip away. Now when we talk to each other, we can't even make ourselves understood.
Well, you know, I had no idea, really. This has all come as a complete surprise. How much you controlled me. The extent to which you owned me.
Or didn't own you, as it turns out. You know, you should always make sure that your friends are chaperoned. Your friends need to be chaperoned, otherwise they'll slip away from you. Take a look at Ivan, for example, whose chaotic behavior used to delight us. We've allowed him to become a timid stationer, practically merry. He brought us his originality, and now he's making every effort to piss it away.
He brought us. Do you have any idea what you're saying? I mean, why does everything have to revolve around you? Why can't you learn to love people for themselves?
But what's that supposed to mean for themselves?
For what they are.
But what are they? What are they apart from my faith in them? You know, I am desperate to find a friend who has some prior existence. So far, I have had no luck. I had to mold you. See, it never works. Now, there comes a time when your creature has dinner with the Dupre Coudet. To justify his status, goes out by the white pig.
So, here we are, at the end of a 15-year friendship.
Yes.
Pathetic.
If only we had managed to have a normal discussion. If only I had been able to express myself without losing my temper with
Well, I mean, go on. Why can't we exchange one single dispassionate word?
I do not believe in the values that dominate contemporary art. The rule of novelty, the rule of surprise. Surprise is dead meat, Serge, no sooner conceived than dead.
All right, so?
That's all. That's all my appeal was to you, my surprise. Now, top surprise lasted quite some time, I'll admit.
Finkelzone is a genius. I told you he understood all this.
Ivan, I'll thank you to stop umpiring and stop imagining you're not fully implicated in this conversation.
Are you trying to implicate me? I refuse. What's it got to do with me? I've already got a burst eardrum. You work things out for yourself.
Well, you see, what I can't bear about you, Ivan, at the moment, apart from what I've already told you, is your craving to put Serge and me on the same level. You'd like us to be equal to indulge your cowardice. Talking on equal footing, equal in the way you thought of us when we were friends. But you see, Ivan, we have never been equal. And now you have to choose.
I have chosen.
Excellent.
I don't need a supporter.
Well, what's the matter? You're not going to turn the poor boy down, are you?
Well, why do we see each other if we hate each other? I mean, it's obvious we do hate each other. I mean, I don't hate you, but you hate each other and you hate me. So why do we see each other? I was looking forward to a nice, relaxing evening after a ridiculously crazed week. Meeting my two best friends, going to the movies and having a good time and forgetting about all these dramas.
Do you realize you've talked about nothing besides yourself all evening?
Well, who are you talking about? Everybody talks about themselves.
You fuck up our evening.
I fucked up your evening?
Yes!
I fucked up your evening?
Yes, you did. Now don't get upset about it.
You're saying that I fucked up your evening?
How many more times are you gonna say it?
Just answer the question. Are you saying that it was me that fucked up your
You
evening?
arrived 3/4 of an hour late. You don't apologize, then you swamp us with your domestic woe.
And your inertia. I mean, your sheer neutral spectator's inertia has lured Mark and me into the worst of
You
excesses.
too. You're starting it on me too.
Yes! Because on this topic, I am entirely in agreement with him. You create the conditions of conflict.
I can burst into tears. I can cry right now. I'm very close to tears.
Cry.
Cry!
You're telling me to cry?
Why not? You got every reason to cry. You're losing your two best friends. You're marrying a gorgon.
So that's it? It's all over?
Well, you said it yourself. Why do we see each other if we hate each other?
What about my wedding? You're my witnesses, remember?
Oh, Find somebody else.
I can't.
You can pick somebody else at the last minute.
You're not allowed to.
Of course you are.
No, you're not.
Don't panic. We'll come.
But what you should do is cancel the wedding.
He's right.
Oh, shit. What have I ever done to you? Shit. This is savage what you're doing. You could have waited till after the 12th to have your fight. But no, you're determined to ruin my wedding. The wedding, which is already a catastrophe. It's already made me lose 10 pounds, and now you're totally fucking it up. The two people whose presence guaranteed some spark of satisfaction are determined to destroy each other. That's my luck. Do you think I like packs of Filofax paper? Or rolls of Scotch tape? Do you think any normal person wakes up one day desperate to sell expandable document wallets? Well, what else can I do? I've farted around for 40 years. It made you laugh. It was wonderful. It made all my friends laugh their heads off playing the fool. But at night, who was left solitary as a rat? Who crawled home every night all alone on his own? This buffoon, dying of loneliness, who'd switch on anything that talks, and who does he find on his answering machine? His mother. His mother. And his mother.
Oh, for God's sakes, don't get upset.
Don't get upset! Who upset me in the first place? I'm not like you. I don't have your refined sensibilities. I'm not a heavyweight. I don't even have an opinion.
Will you calm down?
Don't tell me to calm down. What possible reason do I have to calm down? Are you trying to drive me crazy, telling me to calm down? Calm down is the worst thing you can say to someone who's lost their calm. I'm not like you. I don't want to be an authority figure. I don't want to be a point of reference. I don't want to be self-sufficient. I just want to be your friend. I'm the Joker. I'm the Joker.
Could we try and steer clear of pathos?
I'm finished. Do you have anything to nibble on? Anything just to keep from passing out?
I have some olives.
Well, hand them over. Oh.
You want some?
There's some place to put the extremes. Apocalypse. Because of a white square.
It's not white.
A piece of white shit. That's what it is. A piece of white shit. Well, let's face it, pal. You buying this thing was demented. Oh, that hurts.
Do you have one of your famous felt tips?
What for? You're not gonna draw the page.
Do you or don't you?
Wait a minute. Oh, yeah. A blue one.
Give it to me. Go on. Go on.
Oh, you're not gonna do it.
Come on.
You're raving lunatics, both of you.
Well, I'm starving. You want to go eat?
Catherine put her wedding bouquet in a small bag of sugared almonds on her mother's grave at the Montparnasse Cemetery, while I slipped away to cry behind a monument. Later that same evening, thinking again about this touching tribute, I started silently sobbing in my bed. I really must speak to Finkelzone about this tendency to cry. I cry all the time. It's not normal for someone my age. It all started, or revealed itself at Serge's the night of the white painting. After Serge, in an act of pure madness, demonstrated to Mark that he cared more about him than he did about his painting, we all went and had dinner. Chez Emile. Over dinner, Serge and Mark made the decision to try to reconstruct a relationship destroyed by word and deed. At one point during the conversation, one of them used the expression trial period. And I burst into tears. this expression, trial period, when applied to our friendship, it set off in me an uncontrollable and ridiculous outburst. In fact, I can no longer stand any kind of rational argument. Nothing formative in this world, nothing great or beautiful in this world has ever been born of a rational argument.
When Mark and I succeeded in obliterating the skier with the aid of Swiss soap plus added ox gall recommended by Paula, I looked at the entrails and said to Mark, "Did you know the ink from felt tips was washable?" "No," he said. "No." "Did you?" "No," I said quickly, lying. I came within an inch of saying that yes, I did know, but how could I have launched upon our trial period with such a disappointing admission? On the other hand, was it right to lie? I'm gonna lie, let's be reasonable. Why am I so absurdly virtuous? Why does my relationship with Mark have to be so complicated?
Under the white clouds, snow is falling. You can't see the white clouds or the snow or the soft white glow of the earth. A solitary man glides downhill on his skis. The snow is falling. It falls until the man disappears back into the landscape. My friend Serge, who is one of my oldest friends, has just bought a painting. It's a canvas about 5 feet by 4. It represents a man who moves across a space, then disappears.